Picture this. A lady walks up to a Dragon Link machine, feeds it $100, and immediately starts slopping $5 bets. 20 minutes later, she's down $87 and walks away fuming. 5 minutes pass. Another guy sits at that exact same machine. He bets 50 cents for exactly 8 spins, then bumps it up to $3 bets. 40 minutes later, he cashes out a ticket for $340. That's not luck. That's a method. Smart players stumbled onto this by accident, refined it through trial and error, and now casinos are quietly shifting their floor layouts to stop it. By the time we're done here, you're going to master the exact 8-spin warm-up method that stops you from burning cash on cold machines. You're going to learn why starting small for exactly 8 spins hands you intel that the max bet guys never see. More importantly, you'll see the psychological trap that keeps 95% of players betting heavy from the jump, and how that one screw-up costs them hundreds every single trip. Here's what I need to know before we go further. When you grab a seat, do you fire off your target bet right away, or do you test the waters first? Drop your answer in the comments, because what I'm about to show you is going to flip your entire strategy upside down. Let me tell you a story about what went down 2 months ago at Mohegan Sun. There's a guy named Vincent. He'd been bleeding money for 3 years straight. Same routine every weekend. He walks in with $300, sits at a lightning link, and bets $2.50 right from spin 1. 90 minutes later, he's broke. Then a buddy tipped him off to a different approach, a warm-up sequence. Start low, get the data, and only commit cash if the machine proves itself. Vincent was skeptical, but he was also desperate. He gave it a shot. That night, he walked out $420 up. 6 weeks later, he's still using it, and he's profitable 4 out of every 5 trips. What is Vincent doing differently? He's running the 8-spin warm-up with a discipline most gamblers just don't have. But before I break down the specific steps, you need to get why this works, especially when everyone tells you slots shouldn't work this way. Every slot runs on a random number generator, cycling through thousands of combos a second. The second you hit that button, the result is locked. The spinning reels, that's just a show. That's basic mechanics, and every casino will tell you that. What they won't tell you is how to weaponize that info. Because here's the deal. While every spin is independent, machines are programmed with volatility patterns that create visible short-term behavior. Look at it like this. A machine set to pay back 92% over 1,000,000 spins doesn't pay back exactly 92% every 100 spins. In a short session, that box might pay out 70%, or it might pay out 115%. Over time, the math evens out. But in the short term, machines cycle through hot and cold streaks. It's not because the machine has a memory or because it's due, it's because random distribution clumps together. Flip a coin and get 5 heads in a row? That doesn't mean the coin is hot, it's just variance. Slots are the same. Old school slot techs who've spent decades on the floor have spilled the beans on something casinos keep quiet. When a machine has been hammered for a long time with 0 payout, it's stuck in a low variance cluster. While there's no guarantee it's about to switch to high variance, keep playing and the odds go up because the programming has to hit that RTP target eventually. This is where tactical testing saves your hide. The 8-spin warm-up is built to spot the machine's current state without torching your wallet. It's not about warming up the slots. The machine doesn't care. It's about warming up your read on that specific machine's behavior. Here is the exact blueprint, and I need you to lock in on every step because if you skip one, you ruin the results. Step 1 is picking your target. Most players blow this before they even sit down. You can't just walk up to some flashy game that looks cool. You need to pick machines strategically based on 3 things. First, hunt for high volatility games with clear bonus features. Dragon Link, Lightning Link, Buffalo, Locket Link, Crazy Money Deluxe, and most of those aristocrat progressives. These games are built for wild swings, which means their current mood is easier to spot quickly. Second, look for machines in medium to high traffic zones that were just abandoned. Not the ones sitting cold for hours. I mean machines where you actually saw a body in the chair recently and then they left. Why? Because you can see how long they sat there and if they walked away pissed off or happy. A player who storms off after 20 minutes shaking their head gives you gold. That machine just ran a cold cycle on them. You aren't sitting at a fresh machine, you're sitting down with intel. Third, stay the hell away from machines that just paid out huge. If you saw a guy hit a massive bonus or jackpot and cash out, skip it. Move on. While every spin is random, machines that just dumped a ton of cash often go into a dry spell. It's simple math. The program has to balance the books, and a big payout means the next stretch needs to make up for it. Here's a pro scouting move. Park yourself at a video poker machine or a cheap slot where you have a view of a few target machines. Play slow, barely look at your screen, and watch 3 or 4 machines around you. Track how long people stick to them and if they're getting bonuses, and their body language. When someone bails on a machine after a clearly rough session, make a mental note. That is machine number 1 on your hit list. Step 2 is the setup. This is where the discipline kicks in. You walk up to that machine and sit down. Put your cash in, but set your bet to the absolute minimum that still lights up all the pay lines. This is non-negotiable. If the machine lets you bet 50 cents to $10, you are betting 50 cents. Not a buck, not 2, the minimum. Because these first 8 spins aren't for making money, they're for buying intel. Most players hear this and think it's a waste of time. They want to bet heavy immediately because big bets mean big paydays if it hits. That is emotional gambling, not strategic gambling. You don't know if this thing is going to hit. That's why you're testing it. Betting $5 a spin to get info is expensive. Betting 50 cents to get the same info is genius. Now, you spin exactly 8 times. Not 5, not 10, 8. Why 8? Because 8 spins gives you enough of a sample to see a pattern without burning enough cash to commit you to a bad machine. 5 spins is too random. One lucky hit on spin 3 can fake you out. 10 spins starts eating real money if it's ice cold. 8 is the magic number where you get real data for cheap. During these 8 spins, watch everything like a hawk. Are you getting any hits, even tiny ones? Are you seeing near misses where the bonus symbols almost line up? Are you getting totally dead spins with 0 back? Are you seeing stacks, wilds, or scouters popping up even if they don't trigger? The pattern tells the story. Here is exactly what you are hunting for. If you trigger a bonus feature in those 8 spins, you struck oil. The machine is awake. Immediately bump your bet to your target level and play with strict limits. If you hit 1 or 2 line wins that pay 10x your bet or more during the warm-up, that's a strong green light. The machine is showing high volatility action and is in a paying cycle. Up your bet and go. If you get 3 to 5 small wins during the 8 spins that paid 2x to 5x your bet, that's a medium signal. The machine is alive but grinding. You can raise your bet but stay careful and be ready to bail if it turns sour. You're not on a jackpot machine, you're on a grinder that might feed you small wins. But here is the decision that separates the winners from the losers. If all 8 spins give you nothing, or you catch 1 or 2 garbage wins that barely cover the bet, you stand up and walk right now. No excuses, no just a few more to be sure. You just invested $4 if you were betting 50 cents. That $4 bought you the knowledge that saved you from torching $50 or $100 grinding through dead spins. This is where 99% of players choke. They finish the 8 spins, see nothing, and their brain starts lying to them. Maybe spin 9 is the one. I already put $4 in, I should stick it out. It has to pay soon. That is the sunk cost fallacy mixed with the gambler's fallacy, and it is exactly what the casino banks on. That $4 is gone no matter what you do. Walking away doesn't waste it. Sitting there and losing another $96 wastes it. Check this out. A player named Melissa learned this the hard way. She heard about testing machines online and gave it a go. She hits her local casino, finds a Buffalo machine someone just ditched, sits down and runs an 8-spin test at 60 cents. All 8 spins, dead. Total loss, $4.80. But Melissa couldn't make herself leave. She thought, that's stupid. 8 spins isn't enough to know jack. I need 20 spins. She played 12 more at 60 cents. Nothing. Now she's down $12. Frustrated, she bumps the bet to $2, thinking bigger bets will wake it up. She plays 30 more spins. 2 tiny wins totaling $11. She's now down $81 on a machine her first test told her was ice cold. The method worked perfectly, she just ignored it. That is the difference between knowing the strategy and actually having the guts to use it. Now, let's talk about what happens when a machine passes the test. You finish 8 spins at min bet and you get 2 decent hits and a near miss. The machine is showing life. What's the play? This is where your plan has to be rock solid before you touch that button again. You immediately raise your bet to your target level. If you came to bet $2, you bet $2. If you wanted to bet $3, bet $3. But before you spin, lock 2 numbers in your head, your win goal and your loss limit. Your win goal has to be realistic for your bankroll. If you start with $100, maybe the goal is $180. You made $80 profit. That's an 80% return, which is killer. When you hit $180, you cash out. No thinking it's hot, no one more spin. You won. Take the money, leave. Your loss limit is just as key. Maybe it's $70. If you drop to $70 from your starting 100, you're down $30 and you cash out. The machine faked you out or went cold. It happens. Eat the small loss and move to the next target. Former casino staff who play this way all say the same thing. Success isn't about finding hot machines. It's about dodging the cold ones and protecting your cash when you're wrong. If you test 10 machines and 8 fail to warm up, you spent maybe $32, but that $32 saved you from losing $300 or $500 sitting at dead machines all night. And the 2 that passed, that's where you actually have a shot at making money. Here is what a pro session looks like, step by step. You hit the floor at 6 p.m. on a Saturday. You brought $500 and plan to bet $2.50 a spin on the live ones. You start by walking the floor for 15 minutes, no playing, just watching. You see a lady at a locket link near the bar. She's been there 10 minutes based on her drink, and she looks miserable. You grab a beer and stand at a video poker game nearby where you can watch her without being creepy. Over 8 minutes, she gets 0 features. She cashes out and leaves, clearly ticked off. You wait 3 minutes to make sure she's gone. Then you sit. You put in $50 and set the bet to 50 cents. Spin 1, nothing. Spin 2, tiny win of $1.20. Spin 3, nothing. Spin 4, 3 lock symbols and an $8.50 win. That's 17x your bet. Spin 5, nothing. Spin 6, stacked wilds pay $7. Spin 7, nothing. Spin 8, small hit of $2.40. Total spent, $4. Total won, $19.10. Net profit on warm-up, $15.10. This machine passed with flying colors. 2 wins over 10x plus small hits. You bump the bet to $2.50 and set the plan. Win goal, $140 in the machine. Loss limit, $35. You play for 35 minutes. You trigger the locket feature once for $89. You hit some medium line wins between $12 and $35. Your balance hits $148. You crossed your goal. You cash out immediately. Time at machine, 40 minutes. Profit, $98. You move to a new spot and spot a lightning link in the back corner that you saw someone ditch earlier. You sit and run the 8-spin warm-up at 50 cents. Spins 1 through 8, 1 single win of $1.80. 7 dead spins, and the 1 win barely covered the bet. Cost, $4. This machine is a brick. You stand up, take the ticket, and walk. No second guessing. That $4 saved you a potential $100 beating. Third target is a dragon link near the entrance. Another 8-spin warm-up. Spin 2 hits $6. Spin 4 hits $4.20. Spin 7 hits $11.50. 3 wins in 8 spins, one of them 23x your bet. Strong signal. You go to $2.50 a spin and set your limits. Over the next hour, you hit 2 Dragon Link features for $67 and $43. Steady medium wins. Balance hits $186. You cash out. End of the night. You tested 3 machines. 2 passed, 1 failed. You spent about $12 on warm-ups. You played 2.5 hours on the good machines. You're leaving with $260 profit on a $500 start. You had fun, stayed disciplined, and most importantly, you walked away from a money pit before it could drain you. Compare that to the average guy. He walks in, sits at the first shiny box, bets $2.50 from spin 1, and plays until he's broke or gets lucky. No test, no plan. He's gambling on luck, you're gambling on intel. That is the difference. Now let's get into the advanced stuff the pros use. Once you nail the basic warm-up, you start reading the quality of the hits to predict the session. A machine that gives you zip for 6 spins, then hammers big wins on spin 7 and 8, is showing extreme high volatility. If you stick around, expect long droughts but potentially big payouts. You might want to lower your bet a hair to survive the dry spells. A machine that pays small change on 5 out of 8 spins is low volatility. You won't get rich quick, but you'll get playtime. This is good for grinding out points. You might even nudge your bet up since the frequent wins offset the cost. A machine that pays absolutely nothing for 8 spins is screaming at you to leave. No analysis needed. It's dead. Move. This is the easiest choice of the night if you can shut down your emotions. Here's something wild that surveillance is picking up on. Players using warm-up methods move around a lot, test machines, and bail fast on cold ones. Some casinos are training floor staff to intercept these guys with offers, free drinks, meal comps, bonus play. Why? Because if they can keep you in that chair, the house edge will eventually grind you down. If they can break your focus with a free steak, they win. Vincent, the guy I mentioned earlier, got approached by a host 6 weeks ago, offered him upgraded status, free suites, express comps, if he'd just play longer sessions on single machines. Vincent knew exactly what was up. They tagged him as a sharp player and tried to mess with his system. He politely said no to everything but the points. He's still using his method, and he's still winning. Let's hit the common complaints I hear about this. Objection 1. 8 spins at MinBet is a waste. Wrong. 8 spins costs you $4 to $8. That tiny cost tells you if you should risk $100. Would you rather waste $5 getting smart or waste $100 playing blind? Objection 2. Starting low means I miss the big hit early. True. If you hit a massive bonus on spin 3 at 50 cents, you get paid at 50 cents, not $3. That is the opportunity cost. But here's the reality check. How often does that happen compared to sitting at a cold machine for an hour bleeding cash? The math screams test first. You will save way more dodging cold machines than you'll lose by hitting a cheap bonus in the warm-up. Objection 3. I don't have the patience. I just want to play. Then this isn't for you, and you need to accept that you're going to lose money. Winning takes discipline. If you want to zone out and push buttons, go ahead. Just know you'll get the same result as everyone else. Broke. Objection 4. I tried it and it didn't work. When I hear this, I ask, did you walk after 8 dead spins or did you stay? Did you set limits or did you play until you felt like quitting? Did you raise your bet after it passed or stay low, scared to lose? 99% of the time, the method didn't fail. You failed the execution. Let's talk about the mind games your brain plays on you. When you finish 8 spins and see nothing, your gut screams, keep going. Your lizard brain hates walking away from a potential win. It wants the dopamine now. You have to crush that instinct with logic. Logic says those $4 bought you data. The data says this machine is cold. Staying isn't brave, it's stupid. Walking away isn't quitting, it's a tactical retreat based on evidence. Try this trick. Before you sit for the warm-up, set a timer on your phone for 6 minutes. When it buzzes, the test is done and you make the call. Stay or go. This kills the emotion and puts the decision on autopilot. Timer says you're done, so you're done. No debate. Now, machine placement. Casinos used to put the loose slots in obvious spots, entrances near tables. Smart players figured that out, so casinos started mixing tight machines in with the loose ones. This is why the 8-spin test is crucial. You can't trust the location. That dragon link by the door might be 95% payout, or it might be 88% and they look identical. The only way to know is to test it. The warm-up adopts to this because you're testing behavior, not location. Old slot managers admit they rotate settings. A loose machine last month might be tight today. Player data tells them what pays too much. If a machine is too generous, they can tweak it legally. Your warm-up accounts for this because you're testing now, not what it did last week. Here's an advanced tip for regulars. Keep a note on your phone. Track which machines passed and which failed. Date, time, and result. You might see patterns. Certain machines in certain spots might be hotter at specific times. This isn't because of a timer, but because traffic patterns force cold cycles. A bank of slots near the buffet gets hammered from 5 to 7 p.m. by tourists. By 8:30 p.m., they might have cycled through the dry spell and be ready to pop. Your log helps you spot this. Let me tell you about Carlos. He took this to the next level. He logged every warm-up. After 4 months and 150 tests, he sorted them. Category A, strong activity, multiple big wins. Category B, moderate action. Category C, minimal action. Category F, total failures. Carlos found something crazy. Category A machines made him profit 72% of the time he stayed. Category B was profitable 41% of the time. Category C, only 19%. And Category F, the ones that failed, were profitable less than 4% of the time when he ignored the test. So Carlos changed his game. He only plays Category A. He walks away from everything else, even the ones showing a little life. His win rate jumped from 35% to 63%. He became sniper precise. Most players can't do this because walking away from a machine with some life feels wrong. Carlos trained himself to only shoot the easy targets. Let's talk bankroll. You need enough cash to test multiple machines and still have ammo to play the winner. Rule of thumb, bring enough for 10 warm-ups plus your play money. If you test at 50 cents, that's $4 a test. 10 tests is $40. Then you need the bankroll for the passing machines. If you bet $2.50, you want 50 to 80 times that available. That's $125 to $200. Total bankroll, $165 to $240. If you're a low roller, it still works, but 40 cents normally, test at 20 cents, bring $80 total. The math scales. What doesn't scale is discipline. Walking away from a failed test is just as hard at 20 cents as it is at $2. Why 8 spins? Research shows 8 is the balance point between good data and cheap cost. Less than 8, you're guessing. More than 8, you're overpaying for info. Think about odds. If a machine is truly cold, returning 60%, 8 spins at 50 cents costs $4 and shows you the ugly truth. That same machine at high bets costs you $40 or $80 before you wake up. The 8-spin warm-up shortcuts the learning curve and cuts your tuition fees. Plus, 8 spins is long enough to trigger teasers. If you don't see a bonus symbol in 8 spins, that's a red flag. The machine isn't even trying to bait you. That is solid intel. Big question. What about progressives? Does this work on jackpots? Yes, but with a twist. On progressives where you must bet max to win the big one, you still warm up at min bet. You aren't testing for the jackpot. The odds of hitting that are 0 anyway. You are testing if the base game is alive enough to keep you afloat while you hunt the big one. If the machine passes with strong action, then you go to max bet. If it fails, walk. Never chase a progressive on a machine with a cold base game. Mistake alert. Players see a jackpot at $120,000 and think they have to play. Wrong. Someone will win it, but the odds of it being you right now are basically nil. What matters is, can you survive at max bet without going broke? The warm-up tells you that. Denomination matters too. The principle holds, but the bets change. On penny slots, min bet might be 40 cents. Warm-up costs $3.20. On dollar slots, min bet might be $2. Warm-up costs $16. The investment goes up with the denom. Higher limit machines usually have better payback percentages, but they need bigger bankrolls. $500 is fine for quarters. It's tight for $5 slots. Match the denom to your wallet, not just what you feel like betting. Here's a secret from former hosts. When you use your card during warm-ups and bail, the system sees it. If you constantly test and leave, you get flagged as selective. They won't ban you, but they know you aren't a whale. Some casinos send targeted offers to these players, free play specifically timed when you're there to break your routine. It sounds nice, but it's a trap to get you committed before you test. Watch out for it. Here is your mission for the next trip. First, bring enough cash for 8 tests plus play money. Second, spend 15 minutes scouting 5 or 6 targets based on who just left. Third, test each one with exactly 8 spins at min bet. Fourth, walk instantly if it's dead. Fifth, play the winners with strict limits. Sixth, track your results. What is your biggest hurdle here? Is it the guts to walk away, the patience to scout, the control to cash out a win? Comment below, because knowing your weakness is how you fix it. The 8-spin method isn't magic. You will still lose sessions, but it massively cuts the bleeding and helps you spot the winners. Over time, that edge stacks up. Think about it. 2 guys walk in with $500. Guy 1 sits and bets $3 until he's bust. Guy 2 tests 8 machines, spends $32, finds 2 hot ones, and plays smart. A year later, Guy 1 lost $4,000. Guy 2 lost $600. Same start, different plan, different life. The casino is built to make you dumb, emotional, and drunk. The lights, the noise, the free booze, it's all there to stop you from thinking. The 8-spin method is your shield. It forces you to be cold, calculating, and sharp. It stops you from feeding dead machines and helps you strike when the iron is hot. Master this and you'll never look at a casino the same way. You'll see the matrix, you'll see the suckers grinding cold cycles, and you'll know you used to be one of them. Now, you're a sniper. Here's the deal. Next time you go, try this on just 3 machines. Test 3, walk from the losers, play the winner. Then come back and tell me what happened. Did you bail on the bad ones? Did you want to break the rules? What was tough? If this video woke you up to how slots really work, smash that like button. If you want more insider tactics they don't want you to know, subscribe and hit the bell. Share this with your slot buddies because the more of us playing smart, the less the casino takes from the impulsive crowd. Remember, slots aren't there to make you rich. They're there to bleed you while you smile. The 8-spin method doesn't beat the house edge forever. Nothing does. But it gives you a system to stop the bleeding, maximize the fun, and catch the waves when they come. Play smart, stay frosty, and I'll see you at the slots. Good luck.